In this video, I'm going to show you a full tutorial of how to make acrylic lace, which I use frequently in my creations. Today I'm going to introduce you to acrylic plaster. It's an alternative solution to liquid sculpey, but it is cheaper and doesn't need to be baked. You can find it in hardware stores in tub or tube packaging. It's a creamy substance that spreads well and it's easy to handle, but it dries fairly quickly, so you need to make sure that you seal the container back well after use. The plaster has to be acrylic kind, as no other type would work. First, I'm going to show you how to spread the plaster into this larger type of lace mold. You can find these heat-resistant, food-safe molds on AliExpress for about €5–6. As you can see, it doesn't need to be cleaned between every use, but it is advisable to do so periodically or when there's too much buildup around the form. I advise you to use a longer type of palette knife to easily spread the plaster. You don't need a large amount at once, but be sure to spread it evenly, pushing the cream into every crevice from all angles. Also, it's very important to take off as much excess all around the edges for a clean shape. I sped up the process a little, so I don't bore you with the whole process, but as you can see, I go back and forth on the shape to make sure that every crevice is filled evenly. There are smaller kinds of molds which I love to use for backgrounds on my jars. You can really give dimensions to your art pieces with these acrylic laces. Or you can use them by themselves as decorating elements if you want. The process is exactly the same for any kind of molds like these. So I filled some of the molds I have to show you how I remove the lace from them. I recommend to leave it for a night to dry fully to be on the safe side. It cures without heat in about 4 to 6 hours normally. From a smaller molds like these should be a straightforward, easy process to remove the lace when everything dried. As you can see, sometimes there are some excess left around the edges. This can easily happen, but don't worry, it can be scraped off by hand or using a tool of your preference. If the excess is not too thick when it comes to adhering to a surface, it will blend well with the glue, so it won't be too visible at all. But if you're a perfectionist, you can go around and meticulously clean the shape. And just to give you a heads up, this can be a little time consuming. The lace is not that fragile, but it can tear, so it's best to go slower when removing it. Most of the time you can remove the parts of excess by picking it off with your fingers to get a cleaner shape. This little piece is done, let's go to another one. The bigger the molds or the more details it has, the slower should go when it comes to removing it to avoid any tearing. It is a better practice to flip over the whole thing and lift the mold from the lace rather than the other way around. Of course, this is only my suggestion, but do it in a way it's best for you. I know it looks a bit tedious and slow going little by little, but the result will be worth the effort. I would like to show you a few examples up close of a done and perfectly removed laces. These gorgeously detailed acrylic laces are ready to be glued on any prepped or porous surfaces. They can be glued with wood glue, and I will show you how I incorporate them in my craft pieces in my upcoming tutorial videos. I absolutely love this one. I think it's really beautiful. What do you think? So this is one of the use you can do with this lace. This is just one sample, a simple technique of how to cover a surface of the whole jar with it. The material itself is so versatile as it's really flexible, so you can bend it well, but you can also change the shape, how to use it, as it can easily be cut with a scissor or even be teared off by hand. It will give you a lot of creative freedom to use it whichever shape you want it in your final design. Sometimes I only use part of a whole design, only to give an ever-changing effect to my art pieces. I absolutely love using it as it makes my projects more detailed and unique. I really hope you found this video useful and to see you at my next tutorial. Many thanks. Bye.